This week on the Bubble Chat.
I'm not going to do it like that. And let me promise you this. If you was to climb in the bed with me and rub on my leg, I promise you a magic genie will appear and you got 3 wishes.
I don't wish death on anyone, but he's not an activist. He is a fascist. The difference. Because he promotes hate speech. He's not talking to people when he was alive about how to build community. He's all about degradation and humiliation. And for that, I cannot call him an activist, but he is a fascist.
This honestly feels like the ripple effect of one of the most iconic business breakups in hip-hop history. You know, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Rockefeller was unstoppable.
Hashtag itself in DC and in what's going on?
I'm or about the administration.
Yeah, or it's just crazy. So kudos to, she knows she wrong, and she know ain't no way she can compare Sydney whatever to Beyonce.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Bubble Chat. We're so glad that you decided to spend time with us today. Every week on this show, we like to dive into conversations that spark curiosity, laughter, and maybe even a little reflection. Whether you're tuning in on your commute, or you're working out, or just hanging out at home, hope today's episode gives you something to take with you when it's all said and done.
Before we jump into our main topic, let's take a moment to check in. First of all, how's everyone doing? I know life has been a whirlwind lately for many of us, between the news, work, family, and just trying to find a little space to breathe. That's exactly why I love recording this podcast. It gives me and my co-host a chance to slow down, share some thoughts, and hopefully connect with you on a real level.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking, nephew. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Chase James.
Hello, everybody. I'm doing fantastic. Been taking it. I'm like the tortoise right now. Slow and steady wins the race.
That's good.
Especially when you work hard on your night job. Slow and steady. That's right.
I don't have a night job.
Part-time, blah, blah.
Well, now if you're new to the Bubble Chat, first of all, welcome. This podcast is all about community and conversation. We're not here to lecture or preach anyone. We're here to talk about things in a thoughtful way. Might get a little close to being a little honest and open, maybe a little messy at times. I'm not messy, but anyway, I get it. But always with love and intention. So if you're just discovering us, I hope you stick around and fit right in.
For my returning listeners, you already know the vibe. Thank you for excuse me. For my returning listeners, you already know the vibe. Thank you for continuing to show up in support where we are building here. Your messages, your feedback, and even just pressing play each week means more than I could say. It keeps me motivated to keep creating and to keep sharing, even on the tough days. So really, thank you from the bottom of my motherfucking heart and my fake foot. So grab your cup, your tea, your whatever that keeps you cozy, and let's dive into these today's hot topics today on the Bubble Chat. How you doing?
How you doing?
Crazy.
All right, Tracy, why don't you kick us off? I said, why don't you kick us off? You know.
Okay, sure. All right, let's dive into today's headlines. Derek Dixon, an actor from Tyler Perry's BT series, The Oval, has stepped forward on ABC News Live Prime to reaffirm claims from the lawsuit he filed against Perry earlier this year. In that interview, Dixon recounted the first incident he alleges he had passed out in a guest room at Perry's Atlanta home, allegedly in 2020, after drinking too much. He says he got into bed and then noticed Perry had climbed in also. started rubbing on my leg, and that I'm about to pinch this one, okay?
And that way,
Started rubbing on my leg and immediately jumped out of the bed. Dixon quotes. Also spoke candidly about the emotional aftermath. He told the network, unless someone has been through something where they have their control taken away from their bodies and they don't really understand the kind of feeling that you get in that moment, this claim aligns closely with the allegations in the June lawsuit. Dixon sued Perry and it says Perry and Tyler Perry Studios in Los Angeles Superior Court seeking 260 million, alleging a pattern of quid pro quo. If anyone doesn't know what that means, it's like you do me, I do you. And
collect the Silence of the Lambs.
quid pro quo, sexual harassment, workplace harassment, assault, and battery. The lawsuit details a progression of incidents ranging from unsolicited, sexual messages to more evasive and provocative physical assaults. For instance, Dixon claims he received sexual suggestion texts from Tyler Perry, including one that asked, allegedly, what it is going to take for you to give guiltless sex. He alleges that after this, he was offered a role in the Oval, but this is continued employment felt conditional, and he didn't want to feel the conditions of this. So his compliance, one specific episode, Tyler Perry allegedly entered Dixon's guest room in 2021 of June, pulled down his underwear, groped him. This is really graphic. Groped him.
Is that what you do when you pull?
I don't know. I don't do none of the above. Please, let me finish. And relax and just let it happen.
Oh.
All the while protesting. What does it say when someone feels they must choose between their professional dreams and their personal dignity? I think we should discuss it. And allegedly, Dixon, whoa, that's a huge claim. Lot going on here. It's a lot.
It really is.
I think.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this right now, Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm gonna tell you like Chance told Tiffany, aka New York, on I Love New York, when she had picked that turtle head boy and he did New York wrong. And Chance said, I repeat, and as I quote, I wasn't there like that, girl. I wasn't there like that. Tyler, once you hire me, after you hire me, during my entire employment for the Tyler Perry Studios, I'm not gonna do it like that. And let me promise you this. If you was to climb in the bed with me and rub on my leg, I promise you a magic genie will appear and you got 3 wishes.
Oh, wow. Not 3 wishes.
That's all I got to say.
You know,
Oh, wow.
Hearing Derek speak out really got me thinking about something bigger than just this case.
What's bigger?
Come on, get on your soapbox, Effie. What you thinking about? Let it bubble up. Let it bubble up.
When it comes to sexual assault in the film industry, there's this unspoken pattern. It almost always becomes a taboo topic. Nobody wants to touch it, and when it first comes up, it gets pushed aside. People stay quiet, and it's like the industry collectively holds its own breath, waiting to see if the story will fade. But then, even years later, that's when it really gets talked about. When someone finally feels safe enough to break the silence, or when the media can't ignore it anymore. And by that point, so much damage has already done. The victim has been sitting with the trauma alone. The whispers have been circulating behind closed doors, and the truth has been buried under fear of backlashes or career consequences. What stands out to me in this case is how familiar that silence feels. I mean, think about it. We've seen this before with actors, producers, directors. The list is unfortunately long.
Your
Every
cousin.
time,
Go ahead. Sorry.
every time there's like this cycle of secrecy, denial, and delayed outrage, it's like the industry has trained itself to pretend these things don't happen until it's impossible to look away. And that's the real tragedy here. Because if sexual assault and harassment weren't treated like these untouchable career-ending secrets, maybe people would feel safer speaking up sooner. Maybe accountability would happen in real time, not years after the fact. But right now, it still feels like the cost of telling the truth is just too high for many. So, I don't. So when I hear his story, I don't just hear about one man and one set of allegations. I hear echoes on the industry that still struggling to face its own dark side. And it makes me wonder how many more stories are out there waiting for the right time to finally come to light. And with Derek Dixon, him speaking out about those allegations goes to show that although if sexual assault statistically happens to women, it happens to men as well.
All the time.
Right.
It does all the time. And I can speak profusely about my own incident of sexual assault twice in my lifetime. And I'm still triggered. I am still dealing with the trauma. I'm still dealing with the fact that it really impedes your growth. It really stagnates you in ways that I can't even begin to describe. So my heart goes out to Mr. Dickerson for him just to be courageous enough to stand on his own soapbox and say, hey, enough is enough. I do not condone this behavior. Even if it is his word against Tyler Perry, I just feel like it takes a lot to stand up to your perpetrator, and kudos to him for standing up for himself, whether if he wins in court or not. The victory is knowing that he was courageous enough to stand up to the Goliath.
And another note too, when it comes to sexual assault, no means no and stop means stop. Period.
Right.
Well, up next, the recent wave of racist death threats targeting Black students and HBCUs, known as historically Black colleges and universities in the U.S., has taken place, causing numerous HBCUs to go on lockdown after the killing of far-right activist Charlie Kirk. From what was reported, at least 7 HBCUs, including Virginia State University, Alabama State, Spelman College, Morehouse, Hampton, Southern University, and A&M, and Clark Atlanta, were put in lockdown because of threats made to intimidate Black students and institutions. NYU also got hit a manifesto with extremely graphic threats of gun violence circulating around their Black student union, saying the writer was coming for only the N-words, claiming that Black students were somehow infringing on safe spaces for white students. The FBI said that these were hoax calls, that there's no indication of credible threat at this time, but that didn't stop the fear and disruption. Classes were canceled, huge security responses, shelters in place. Multiple campuses responded with urgency. Administrators called the threats intended to disrupt and immediate and instill fear in our community. Bubblers were not even a full month up into the school year, and the fact that the campuses are already dealing with threats like this after what happened in Minneapolis is obviously beyond me. What do you think? How should universities, law enforcement, and policymakers be held accountable for preventing those kinds of threats?
Well, I want to correct you because you called Charlie Kirk a activist. He's a fascist. Be very clear. And the quotes that he has made towards people of melanated skin tone are ridiculous, undermining. They are suppressive, and I don't wish death on anyone, but he's not an activist. He is a fascist. The difference, because he promotes hate speech. He's not talking to people when he was alive about how to build community. He's all about degradation and humiliation. And for that, I cannot call him an activist, but he is a fascist. And also, to bring a little light to what happened to him in Utah, he was one of his own people. So why are HBCUs getting threats? And we didn't do it. We're melanated people, minding our own business, boots on the ground.
I've been
He
sitting.
rest in peace. And that's it. That's all I got for him.
Yeah, I've been sitting with this, and honestly, like I said, it's beyond me how we're barely a month into the school year and we're already hearing about this happened at another campus. And
That's
this time it was at HBCU, and thankfully it turned out to be a hoax. But let's be real here. The fear, the panic, the trauma and students and staff felt in those moments were very real. I find it absolutely disgusting that someone like this could even be carried out as a joke or some sort of scare tactic. These are people's lives, and we can't just keep brushing these innocents off like they're nothing. Now, I want to pivot to the situation surrounding Charlie Kirk. And let me say this. I don't agree with a lot of the things Charlie Kirk says or stands for politically. But when I see people online celebrating his death or worse, wishing trauma and pain on his wife, his children, and family,
Yeah, I
it
don't
really doesn't sit right with me, to be honest. Because here's the thing. Those kids are now living with the reality that they will never see their father again. His wife is living with the reality of losing her partner. That kind of pain is not something to laugh at or mock, no matter how much you might disagree with a person's beliefs while they're were alive. Because it's still a human life, and real people are grieving. Honestly, that's all I have to say.
Well, I'm going to end it like this. Our condolences to the Kirk family. Maya Angelou said, "And still I rise." Celie said, "I'm still here. My God, I'm still here." And like last night, Anna said, "Keep on keeping." That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what Dr. Maya Angelou said too. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
All right.
Right.
Go. Michael Jackson said, "Man in the mirror."
And he also said, beat it.
Well, beating it on to the bank is not going to be Damon Dash, the hip hop mogul who co-founded the bump record company Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke, has officially filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in Florida court. In Florida court, documents reveal Dash is facing more than $25 million in debt, while claiming he only has about $4,300 in personal assets, which include a $500 phone, 2 firearms, clothing, jewelry, and about $100 in cash. The majority of his liabilities come from taxes, roughly $19 million in unpaid federal and state obligations. On top of that, more than $600,000 is tied up to an unpaid domestic support to multiple former partners, including designer Rachel Roy, the mother of 2 of his children. Dash financial troubles do not stop there. He's been hit with costly legal judgments, including a $4 million defamation ruling, and has been accused in court of avoiding financial disclosures and even destroying evidence. You dirty motherfucker.
Allegedly.
Just last year, New York State auctioned off his 1/3 stake in Rockefeller, about $1 million to recover unpaid taxes. Even with all this, poor Mr. Dash still hasn't.
Jay-Z?
Still hasn't, probably so. Dash hasn't stayed quiet. He shared a headline about his bankruptcy, filing on Instagram with the caption, "Now let's go to work. #stay tuned." He's also recently opened up about health struggles and major surgeries while spending more time with his young son. Now,
the new son.
Do you see this bankruptcy as a smart way for Damon Dash to wipe for the clean slate and rebuild? Or is this just the latest time that his legacy has taken a major hit?
I think it's a mix of both. Go ahead, nephew.
All right. When I think about it, I can't really help but connect the dots back to the fallout of Rockefeller Records, the label he co-founded with Jay-Z. To me, it isn't just about money management or legal troubles. This honestly feels like the ripple effect of one of the most iconic business breakups in hip hop history. You know, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Rockefeller was unstoppable. Damon Dash, Jay-Z, and Kareem Biggs Burke built something that shifted the culture, music, fashion, lifestyle, everything. But when the partnership started to fracture and Jay-Z eventually took control under Def Jam, it left Dash in a tough position. He went from being part of a dynasty to trying to find his footing on his own. And let's be honest, that kind of transition isn't easy, especially when your brand and reputation are tied to an empire sudden, that suddenly doesn't include you anymore. I think what we're seeing with this bankruptcy filing is part of the long shadow of the fallout. Without Rockefeller's machine, Dash had to hustle independently, and while he's had adventures, film, media, they never reached the same heights. At the same time, Jay-Z's career and business empire only grew larger, which makes the constant even sharper. It's almost like he has been fighting an uphill battle ever since that split. But how do you feel about it, Tracy?
I'm gonna quote Jay-Z for a second here because people love to put Jay-Z in the middle of what's going on with Dame Dash. Dame Dash caused his own plight in life. I believe bankruptcy is a great way to help salvage what you have left and whatever you have tucked in the mattresses, keeping it tucked. But Jay-Z said, and I quote, "You said you built Jay-Z, will build another one." And he is yet to be able to build another one. So I don't wish this man any ill will. I hope he lands on his feet like the Cheshire cat he is. And I also hope that, he is able to recover and rebound. But when you put your foot in your butt, you have to sit on it. So he's dealing with putting his foot in his butt.
I would like to follow up on the comment you said. How he said, you say you build Jay-Z, build another Jay-Z.
Yeah, build another one.
What the thing is talent, artists, creators are like a elevated entity. And you can say you are an artist, a creator, but you may be missing the elevated part of your entity. As in, there's only one Jay-Z, there's only one Tupac, there's only one Kendrick Lamar, there's only one Eminem, there's one P.D. Pablo, one 50 Cent, they're entities, but there are other people that can curate and feed into. So that's where Damon Dash's problem was. You're not the only feeder. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only feeder. That's like a father or a mother. These are not the only people that are going to love you and take care of you and push you and get you in a greater stand of life. So that's how I feel about it. And, great example. Will Smith, what happened to DJ Jazzy Jeff? Remember DJ Jazzy Jeff?
He's still popular.
Now what I'm saying is Will Smith was always that nigga in the situation, right? But every MC really is nothing without a DJ behind them or producer, correct? Am I right?
I don't agree. Go ahead.
But I mean, you get it. Manny Fresh, Juvenile, all those things, right? So, or Birdman and Juvenile, Manny Fresh and Lil Wayne, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre, Kendrick. Okay, what I'm saying is back to Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff as it is to Jay-Z and Damon Dash, or Morris Day and the Time and Jerome, my wingman, my co-D, whether you are my manager, my producer, partner, label mate, right? There's always going to be the front man. And then there's the guy that got your back.
He played the
Not saying
background.
that he's in the shadows, but
he
he's
played the
behind
background.
you, right?
He played the background.
And so many people can stand behind one person.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that part. Many people can stand behind one person. And then somewhere down the line, you kind of get washed in the crowd and you're not at the front. Right?
Well, sometimes you put your foot in your mouth and it end up in your butt. Because that's exactly what happened with Mr. Dash. He kept talking outside of his neck. And it got to the point where, okay, well, our business is at a standstill. We're at an impasse. I was in the boardroom, so I don't know what those people were talking about. But the tidbits that I hear from here and there from their both separate interviews, they outgrew one another. And Jay-Z went on to do whatever he's doing with his current wife. But, unless we're going to talk about
his wife,
I'm moving on.
Let's go.
Because I'm part of the Beehive, baby. Yeah, I like bees, baby. Bees, my bee. Nephew, is it on me? All right now, Miss Megyn Kelly. You tried it. Former Fox News host turned podcaster Megyn Kelly was in the major hot water this last month for comments she made about Beyonce. See, where's she at?
Is she black?
No, she's not. Where's she at? Because I need to see Miss Kelly. Okay. Anyway.
Pull her up, nephew. Pull her up. Look, I know. Pull up a picture.
Oh my God. So, on her show, Megyn Kelly criticized Beyonce's look in the Levi's Act, calling the singer artificial and fake. Mm-hmm. Where? Who? What? She just mad. Okay, anywho. Mm-hmm. And then she drew a comparison to actress Sydney Sweeney, describing Sweeney as more natural. She does totally different categories, like saying you got a milk dud and an M&M. It's not the same. Okay, let me keep going. The contrast didn't sit well with many beehivers. Many accused Kelly of making a racially charged statement by holding up a white actress as the real beauty standard while dismissing Beyonce, who is the real beauty standard. Because I see all of y'all buying a fake butt, buying y'all some juicy lips, y'all trying to get the curves, and y'all trying to get the tan, copper tone. Baby, we are the beauty standard, so cut it out. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, and I'll continue on with what the producer has me reading. And the contrast did not sit well with many beehivers. Many accused Kelly, and I am one of them, of making a racially charged statement by holding up a white actress as the real beauty standard. Wow. Dismissing Beyonce as a black woman as being inauthentic. On social media, the backlash was swift, with some fans outright labeling her remarks as racist, and they are, and others calling it yet another attempt to tear down one of the most successful artists of our time. This isn't the first time Megyn, wannabe Black Kelly, has faced criticism for comments tried to race. I think she was trying to sensationalize and get in our mouth. So she's in my mouth today, and she won't be after this comment. But I'm gonna tell you right now, she just did it so she could get talked about, because she knows she's wrong, and she know ain't no way she can compare Sydney whatever to Beyonce. Please. Oh my God. Anyway, the comments tied to race. Years ago, she smeared controversy while on Fox News by defending backlash for Halloween costumes. Remember when she did blackface? I remember. And since then, she's had a reputation for leaning into more provocative statements like this one here for generated headlines. For Beyonce supporters, this latest critique is being viewed as part of the larger pattern. The bigger conversation here is how much bias gets swept into commentary about women's appearances, especially in the entertainment industry. It is one thing to critique an ad or celebrity branding, but it's another to frame beauty and authenticity in ways that seem to be more privileged for whiteness. And in this case, many felt Kelly had crossed the line. Do you think Megyn Kelly's comments were intentionally racist? Yep. Or just another case of careless commentary that overlooked how loaded these comparisons can be, and more broadly, how should we be talking about beauty standards in the media without feeling or failing at the same types of traps? One thing I want to say about Miss Kelly. We all fell for it, so we're going to talk about it. But I'll be damned if you're going to compare Queen Bee to that little grasshopper, whoever, whatever. I don't even know who that person is, but it's just ridiculous because I'm sure if Beyonce has ever had any kind of aesthetic done to her body, and she's a very rich woman, if she did, oh well. If she shared it with us, oh well. But at least we do see her hopping around on that stage, continually sweating out that weave, honey, having a grand old time gyrating across that stage. So if she ain't the beauty standard, then I don't know who is. And it certainly ain't Shelby Kelly, whoever Megan the pain in my butt.
What you think, nephew?
All right, so let me just say this. Megyn Kelly really goes to show that she's still the same Megyn Kelly she's always been from what I know. And y'all look, I'm not trying to sound hateful here, but I have to be honest. I really don't like Megyn Kelly. I never have. She just gets on my nerves with the way she leans into these controversial topics and the way she carries herself with that ego. It's just a lot. And it's not new behavior either. And let's not forget, this is the same Megyn Kelly who once defended being used in Halloween defended. Sorry, let's not forget this is the same Megyn Kelly who once defended blackface being used in Halloween costumes. She went on national TV, tried to make it up to seem like it was no big deal, which it is. It fucking is, and that ended up playing a huge role in her NBC show getting canceled. That was a decade ago. That was recent. It told me everything I need to know about how she thinks and what kind of hot takes she's willing to put out there. And now she's coming out for Beyonce. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Of all the people, Beyonce made little digs here and there, but from what I've seen, she allegedly even referred to Beyonce as a quote clown. That's not just petty, it's disrespectful. And huge round of applause to Miss Tina Knowles because according to one of the YouTube clips I came across, which I will link in the below, Tina actually called her out on it. And I honestly love that because if there's one thing you don't do is come from Beyonce without expecting her family or her fans to sing. To me, it feels like Megyn drives off stirring the pot and pushing people's buttons. And while that might get clicks or attention, it doesn't make her any more likable. It just makes her look like she's reaching for relevance, for negativity.
The real clown here. Megyn is the real clown here. Megyn Kelly is the clown. She has the red nose and the red shoes and that ridiculous haircut. Yeah, no. She's the real clown here. She better leave Beyonce, Giselle Knowles, aka Carter, alone.
Can I get my 2 cents?
Please get them in, because honey, I'm mad.
Oh, where should I start? Let me see. Megyn Kelly, you Miracle Whip raisin carrot in a potato salad. Spray tan mustard cunt self need to just sit down somewhere and just be on timeout. That's your problem. You got your nose up the wrong ass, sitting up the wrong crack, you in the wrong look. You don't know what the flavor of Kool-Aid is. You don't know what block the picnic is on. You don't know who died and who funeral it was. Okay, I just need you to just go ahead. Now you might need to call nephew on this one, but you might need to just go ahead and play you some marathon Taylor Swift music and try and get with the program, okay? And just pray that Kanye Yeezy crazy ass don't come after you as he did for the Swifter. Well, so I'm just saying.
Nephew hide.
Look at
Hiding.
Because he loved Taylor Swift. He loved him some Tay-Tay.
I was not hiding.
So, I mean, you pulled back.
You one of the covers over
You
there. honey.
decline, yes. No, so Megan Kelly, eat a ass.
Go on somewhere, sit down, girl, and have
Yes,
several seats.
yes.
But we create a whole new high,
Oakland Arena is full of them.
honey. You don't want none of these problems.
Mm-hmm. Sit your little narrow ass down.
How dare you? Just astonished.
Well, it is what it is, nephew. You know.
And you know, even Donald Trump be talking about her ass. He can't stand her.
We're gonna slap the spray tan off of him. Can we go next, nephew?
No,
we all be in jail
I'm not
tonight.
talking about him at all, honey.
Well, next up, actress Ayo Edebiri had some pretty strong reactions to a journalist making comments about the hashtag #MeToo era and Black Lives Matter movement. During a Venice Film Festival press junket for the upcoming film After the Hunt, a journalist posed a perplexing and extraordinary question, quote unquote, now that the Me Too era and Black Lives Matter movement are done, what do we expect in Hollywood? She addressed only to Julia Roberts and Andrew Garfield, omitting Ayo Edebiri, the only Black person on the panel. Julia immediately called it out, asking the interviewer to repeat that question and pointing out she couldn't tell who was being addressed, given the sunglasses. Andrew Garfield looked visibly uncomfortable as the words hung in the air. Seizing the moment with grace, Edebiri leaned in and said, quote, I know that's not for me, and I don't know if it's purposeful, but I am just curious. She then offered a thoughtful and heartfelt answer. The work of those movements is far from over. Even if mainstream coverage has faded, activism is happening daily and matters deeply. Andrew Garfield echoed her sentiment, emphasizing that these social movements are still very much alive, not always televised. The clip quickly went viral, earning praise online for Edebiri's poise and articulate response. Fans call it a superstar class act and commended her composure and insight. So, guys, how do you feel about watching Ayo step into that exclusion with such calm and clarity?
Michelle Obama said, when you go low, we go high. And right now, baby is soaring like a motherfucking eagle. You go, girl.
I just want to take it to shout out Ayo because she said something that really stuck with me. In a recent interview, she made it clear that just because we don't see hashtags of Me Too or Black Lives Matter trending the way they used to, that doesn't mean those movements are over. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. I actually find it ridiculous that the interviewer even suggested otherwise. That somehow these movements ended. How can how the fuck can anyone say that when we're still living in a world where so many issues remain unresolved? These hashtags weren't just trends; they were attached to real pain, real lives, and real fights for justice that haven't gone away. Think about it. Countless people of color, specifically Black people, have lost their lives at the hands of police, and justice is still far from consistent. Members of the LGBTQ plus community, especially young people, are still dying by suicide, often as a direct result of bullying, discrimination, and unfair treatment. Families are left grieving, and these people are systems responsible are rarely held fully accountable. So when Ayo pushes back and reminds folks that these movements are far from over, she's absolutely right. Just because we're not seeing it, the hashtag flood our timelines daily doesn't mean the work is finished. The issues that sparked movements are still happening, and the conversations and the actions still matter. That's why I appreciate Ayo for saying it out loud.
Yeah, I appreciate Ayo for speaking up too. Also, this administration has painted over the actual hashtag itself in DC and in what's going on.
I'm good about the administration.
Yeah, or it's just crazy. So kudos to Ayo for speaking up. You know, protect Ayo because it takes a lot of courage to speak up.
Black girl power. Greatness.
We should stop turning.
Continue to shine. Continue to shine and do your thing.
All right, before we get into our break, Um, Sorry for not being prepared. This just happened to me. So, as we continue to celebrate the Latin Heritage Month, I got to enjoy some stuff this weekend, which I'll speak on later. Here on the Bubble Chat, we want to shine a specific spotlight on someone who has truly become a household name in both television and film, affectionately by the fans as internet's daddy, Mr. Pedro Pascal.
Growing up, Mr. Pedro Pascal was deeply inspired by storytelling in theater, which eventually led him to studying and acting in New York. What's so inspiring is how his journey wasn't instant fame. It was years of persistence, smaller roles, and auditions before he finally had his big breakthrough. Of course, that breakthrough came with his role as Oberyn Martell in the Game of Thrones, which put him on the global stage. Since then, Pascal has given us unforgettable performances in Marco, The Mandalorian, and The Last of Us. Each role shows his versatility, but also how he brings so much humanity and depth to the characters that he plays. Much love to you, Mr. Pedro Pascal. Welcome back, y'all. We're not just wrapping things up just yet, but we've got something new to bring to the table. You know how sometimes the conversation feels too good to stop? Well, we figured out why not just keep it going. Start today, we're introducing a brand new segment where we dive into one more hot topic before we call it a day. Think of it as an extra scoop of ice cream you wasn't expecting, and you got that gas, and we got to let it out, okay? So now, we're calling this segment the After Bubble.
Ooh.
Girl, is you bagged up? Is it coming out? It's about to come out. On the After Bubble, this is our space to go a little bit deeper. Bring up a story we just couldn't get behind. Or even circle back to something we didn't get to unpack motherfucking fully, okay? So it's like a bonus round of conversation where the mic stay on and the real talk keep flowing. But if you funky mouth motherfuckers got something to say, shut it up. So buckle up, put on your mask if you need to, because the After Bubble is all about those, oh, wait, did you hear about this moments, okay? The things you might text your group chat later or bring up over dinner, we're making space for it right motherfucking here, so don't miss out. All right, we're going to jump right into it. This is the first After Bubble topic, and we've got something that's been making waves, so trust me, it's worth the conversation.
I don't even know where you are.
They call that Black Story.
Yeah, but that's your name.
If you want me to continue.
Okay. So today's After the Bubble topic centers around the viral video of rapper Kodak Black driving shirtless down I-95 in Miami. Can he drive shirtless? This one has shirtless right here. I don't get it. So anyway, and after he was seemingly sipping on a bottle of syrup, allegedly, the kind laced with, I don't know what's in that purple drink because I can't even pronounce that word, often associated with lean in the clip, you can't miss him holding the bottle, acting like he really sipping on that stuff called lean, allegedly. Broadcasting it all behind the wheel. Mm-hmm. It had fans freaking out because lean has long been tied to serious health and legal risk in the hip hop and beyond. Kodak's attorney, Bradford Cohen, rushed in to push back against the backlash. He claimed the whole thing was a prank. It wasn't lean at all, but some sort of harmless juice substitute in the bottle for social media effect. According to Cohen, there was no real cough syrup involved in Kodak wasn't actually putting himself in harm's way. Now, let's be real. Look, Kodak has been well documented struggling with substance abuse allegedly in his past. That's part of why fans are so unsettled. A prank like this pokes at all the past that makes folks wonder if he's really okay. And given how risky driving can be while holding or pretending a drink controlled substance can be, well, the optics are anything but funny. What do you make of it, bubblers? And is Kodak's attorney right to call it harmless prank? Hell no. Or does the history and context make this stunt irresponsible regardless? Totally irresponsible. And just recently, was it this year or last year, Kanye West came to the aid of Kodak Black when everybody else didn't. He was in the stupor and he went and he got him and he supposedly helped him through a moment where he was, just out of his own body, out of his own mind. So I think that, just like anybody else who's trying to sensationalize and be seen and get attention, too much attention. Just relax. You don't need to be seen every quarter, every annually, every 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. You just, people, just live. I feel so sorry for people who have to just always be seen, heard. They just have to have the attention. And I think, he's one of those people. He's reached peaks. He even had Sexy Red helping him. She pulled him on her tour where he could make some money because he was in dire straits and he needed to make some money. And she reached out and she helped him. So it's like, help yourself this time, okay? Stop putting feelers out there to see if people are going to jump and be interested in what's going on with you. Don't do pranks and don't try to garnish our attention just so you can be seen. We'll see you. Do something artsy. We'll see it. Be creative. You don't have to pull a substance abuse prank. It's just dumb.
True.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of his fans are worried sick right now because recently he's seen holding what looked like a purple drink, and given his history, people are wondering if lean is back in the picture, and honestly, that's concerning. For those who don't know what lean actually is, people sometimes call it a purple drink. It's a recreational drink made by mixing prescription cough syrup with a soft drink, usually Sprite, and sometimes can like Jolly Ranchers. It sounds like
How
it
you
sounds
know?
almost harmless when you break down the ingredients, but the reality is far from that. In fact, according to Addiction Center, side effects can include slowed heart rate, seizures, dental decay, hallucinations, and impaired vision. And those are honestly life threatening. And the statistics really put into perspective, as the National Library of Medicine reported that about 15.5% of event attendees have tried lean at least once, and 3.4% used it within approximately 2018. Now, only 0.2 reported using it in that past month. But here's the real part that's really eye-opening. 14.2% say they use it in that next month if a friend offered. That shows just how normalized this has become in some circles, especially in music and nightlife. And what's even scarier is 70 points. So when Kodak is seen with a purple drink, even if it isn't lean, the optics are dangerous. His influence is huge, especially younger fans, and whether he intended or not, it can send a wrong message that this lifestyle is cool or safe, but the reality is it's not.
It's not, and you're
We've
right.
lost too many artists and young people to substance like this, and it's hard not to worry when you see someone like Kodak in that position.
Wow.
Well, we're gonna pray for his sobriety, his
Yes.
recovery,
Yes.
and his career. Whatever he gonna have
Yeah,
left.
and for him to get some damn sense. It's just stupid.
I mean,
Play
and
stupid
every
games.
cause
Get
has an
stupid.
effect. Exactly, yes. Play
Right.
stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Period.
And you're not losing, and we're winning in so many words because it's a wrap. That's it. That's all we have for you today at the Bubble Chat. Want to thank you so much for hanging out with us and giving us your time. It really does mean the world to us. These talks only matter because you are listening, thinking, and sharing the space with us. All right. Now, look, if you have enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you'll always know when a new episode drops. And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, give us a rating, leave a review. It helps people know that the show is doing its thing and the community and it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
We also love hearing from you directly. So if there's something that sparked your mind, something you laughed about, even you have a question, reach out on social media and drop us a message. We love to hear from you. Your voice means a lot and it will be contributed to a future episode here on the Bubble Chat. So from me, nephew, sister cousin Tracy James, okay? We want you to take care of yourself out there. We want you to check in with your people. Don't forget the little pockets of joy. Wait a minute. Don't forget to find the little pockets of joy. And every day it makes a difference. Yeah. All right, that's it for now. We'll be back with more conversation, more stories, and more things to bubble about, okay? Until then, I'm sending my love, light, and goodbye. Talk to you guys soon here at the Bubble Chat.
Y'all.
Good night.